Broadcasting from the beautiful Great Lakes state of Michigan, I'm Tom Bartholomew, your host of the Michigan Contractor Show. And I worked in the construction industry for over 25 years. I started on a job site when I was 14, working for my dad on a vinyl siding job. Now I spend all my time running a digital marketing agency where I help contractors and companies in the skilled trade promote their business and reach customers in ways they never thought possible. Again, my name is Tom, and let's get to today's guest. My guest today is an incorporated firm with over 40 years of reputable, reliable, and quality service. Their full office staff is dedicated to complete service for their clients, from consultation to project completion. Each and every project carries the utmost importance to their staff. They are your roofing professionals since 1971. I'm talking today about Story Roofing, and for Story Roofing is David Doyle. Thanks for joining me today, David.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't you go ahead and just tell me kind of about Story Roofing?
Story Roofing is a residential, commercial metal roofing company in Traverse City and Gaylord, Michigan. So we service pretty much all of northern Michigan, and we can do any kind of roof that needs to be done. We have a service and repair department for small repairs. When you get a heavy wind, the shingles blow off your roof, we can come back out and patch that up. You get a heavy storm and a tree branch falls on your roof, and then that needs to be patched up and fixed until the insurance company can come out and take a look at it. We can service just about anything that has to do with the roof, and or metal roofs and or commercial flat roofing. You know, if you need just a little walkout deck with some nice deck tech or EPDM roof, we also do all that. So we're like your full service roofing company.
Awesome. That sounds like you got everybody covered, literally, right? You got them covered with the roofing. You had mentioned there about warranty work. Tell me how the warranty, because that's a big deal with working with different, construction roofing companies, is people want to make sure they get a good warranty with a reputable company. Tell me how your warranty program works.
Right. Well, when we sell you a roof, we sell you a warranty with our roof. Not only from a manufacturer standpoint, we also do it through Story Roofing. So we have a workmanship warranty, which means if we come out and, we made a mistake or your roof leaks or anything like that, we come right out, we jump right on top of it, we get it fixed. As far as the manufacturer warranty goes, if there's some kind of defect in the shingle or anything like that comes along within the 10 years or the 15 years or the 25-year warranty that's there, we walk you through that whole process, and we handle everything with the manufacturer itself. So it's I have a problem with my roof, come out and take a look at it, and then from there on we own it, no matter what it is.
Wow, that's great. So, and I think that's important to stand behind your product. Absolutely. And you guys have a long history of that with your, 40 years in business. And so your area. So let's get to where you're located. You're in northern Michigan. Can you tell us about your service area? And you do have 2 locations. So let us know about those.
Yep. We have 2 locations. So we have a office, which is our main headquarters, which is in Buckley, Michigan, which is just about 20 minutes south of Traverse City. And then we also have an office in Gaylord, which is just right downtown. You drive by it right when you drive through Gaylord. You have to drive right by it, right on the main road there. So our service area is basically northern Michigan. We go from the west side all the way over to the east side, from Frankfort to Alpena to Petoskey, Torch Lake, all the way down to Cadillac. That Manistee, Bear Lake, Ludington. We do service pretty much northern Michigan, and we're willing to go wherever we have to service our customers, because our name is pretty big out there, and people do want the best people to come out there and take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that I've in Bear Lake myself, actually, is where I live and am located, and I've seen your signs around northern Michigan for many years.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
We do put yard signs up when we're done, so everybody knows that you got a Story Roofing roof on your house. as well as you see a lot of our trucks driving through. We do, like I say, we have a lot of trucks on the road all the time with all the different departments that we have. So you do see story roofing driving around town a lot.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had talked about the different the warranty work and whatnot. What type of roofs do you guys use? Because I know a lot of different roofers only like asphalt, some only like steel. What kind of roofs do you guys like to work with?
We do asphalt roofs, as well as metal roofs, as well as the specialty roofs with the heavier shingles like the Glenwoods, the Grand Sequoias, which are just different designs in the shingles, all the way to your road GAF Owens Corning asphalt shingles. We also do metal roofing, where we have a press form metal shingle. We have a what we call a story roofing panel, which is a standing seam panel that we custom make ourselves. We have our own roll former and our own computerized brake to bend up all the trim metal and the flashing metal. And we come right out with our standing seam. We take our machine right out to your house, right out on site, roll the panels. As soon as they come off the machine, they go right onto your roof. As well as, like I was saying, the commercial department, they do all the flat roofing that needs to be done as far as putting, underneath your walkout deck, if you want a rubber EPDM roof before you put your deck on, if you just want a deck tech, something to stand out on and look as you're looking outside your house. And so we cover every basic of roofing.
Oh yeah, you got all the areas covered from the metal. So let's talk about that standing seam a little bit, the one that you guys custom make. So that comes in, is that like when I used to do roofing and stuff, I had an aluminum brake where I would bend the metal and stuff. And I've seen people use the coil bender for the gutters. Is that similar to what you have, is where it comes in a coil and you roll it out? Tell me more about that.
So what we do is, you order your metal and it comes into a big coil and then it goes onto our roll forming machine. And then as the coil goes through the machine, there's different dies and it bends it up, and it's about 12 feet long. And then all of a sudden at the very end where it kicks out is how your standing seam panel comes out. So we do a 16 or an 18-inch wide on center standing seam panel. And then it has a 1-inch rib on it or a 1.75-inch rib, depending on how you like to look, if you want a smaller profile on it or a larger profile on it.
I really like that. I've done some standing seam roofs when I was into construction, because I did construction for a little over 20 years. And I had to pre-order the size. And I was worried about them getting scratched and, travel and stuff when you get some of the darker colors. So this almost seems like it would be a more efficient way all the way around, because you're doing them to length right on site. So there's really no way for shipping damage, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, we do everything right on site. The machine comes right out. Like I say, that way we don't have to ship anything. We're not putting anything on a flatbed and letting it bounce for 45 minutes as we drive all the way to your house. And then when we get to your house, you have a whole bunch of scratches in it. So we just do everything right out on site. We make the trim pieces and all the flashing pieces on our computerized brake in our metal shop. And we can do that because there's a plastic that's on them. So we bend it up with the plastic on it. Then when we put it on before we put it on the house, we just peel the plastic off of it. And then that keeps it from scratching up during transportation and sitting on the ground. And basically transporting is where you're getting all your scratches. So it just protects it from that and weather and all that. Well, as before it gets put on the roof or actually installed on the roof.
Yes, I can remember that was one of my main concerns, is what my panels were going to look like in any kind of steel roofing by the time it got to the job site. Yes.
Right.
So I can see the benefit of that.
Yeah, with a standing seam roof, it's a lot bigger of a process. We also have a what we call a snap table, where we can actually set it at the end of the roll forming machine. It comes out, it goes onto the snap table. The snap table has notches on it. Bring these levers down and it cuts the ribs off the panel for us. Move it a little bit farther down, and it's got a cutter on it, so it cuts the panel to the length that you want. Move it a little bit farther down, it's got a bender on it, so you can bend it for the E-veg. Take it all the way out, put it on the roof. By the time it gets through the whole process, it's ready to go on the roof. They take it off the snap table, and then they install it right on the roof.
Wow, that's great. I could see I wish I would have had something like that when I was working. That sounds
Oh
like
yeah,
a great process.
it saves the hands. You don't get so much arthritis in your hands after a while from cutting every panel. So you let the snap table do all the work, and then you can just put it right up on the roof.
Wow, that's great. So, David, we talked a little bit about Story Roofing. I'd like to know about your history and how long you've been with Story Roofing. Go ahead and tell us about that.
I've been with Story Roofing 5 years now. I did a lot of roofing downstate, and then the owner Ted brought me up here about 5 years ago, and I've been here ever since. And I just like living in northern Michigan and being up here. It's a great company to work for. You couldn't ask for working for a better owner. I've been doing roofing pretty much my whole life since I was about 16, 17 years old. Just one of those guys, one of those crazy guys that just love roofing. You just can't get enough of it.
Well, somebody has to, so I'm glad that that's what you have decided to do. And so you've been with them for 5 years. What originally, Dave? What originally brought you up to this area?
I always like coming up north. I like to hunt. I like to fish. I like to snowmobile. I like to ice fish. I like just being outside, whenever I'm not working. And if you're a roofer in northern Michigan, there's no better place to be a roofer. I mean, you get all the seasons. Your office views change every day. You could be on Crystal Lake. You could be on Grand Traverse Bay. You could be on Torch Lake. I mean, when you're standing up on a roof overlooking all the beautiful scenery up here, you just can't beat it.
That is one thing that I do remember is all the great views from standing on a roof. What a better view. Yes, absolutely. That's great. So we've talked a lot about the residential roofing department. How about commercial roofing? Tell me about your commercial. You guys do commercial as well. Go ahead and tell me about that.
Yeah, we do major commercial roofing all the way from office buildings that are doing a re-roof and they need a new flat roof on them, all the way to the new builds downtown Traverse City that's just getting put up, and we're putting the new roofs right on those. Schools, churches, anything with a flat roof, whether it's a tear off and a complete redo, whether it's a big patch job because something's leaking that we need to cut out, just do a repair, to going over it and it's just a re-roof because they only got one layer of roofing on there and we can just go right over it. So it just depends on the project, but we do anything from large to small. It doesn't matter to us what we got.
Okay, that's good. So what are some projects, maybe some notable projects that people in northern Michigan familiar with? You've done some work in Traverse City, I believe, on some of the buildings. What's some of the work?
I think we just got done doing a Jersey Mike's, the new Jersey Mike's right downtown Traverse City. There's a new build that's going up right downtown. It's called West Shore. It's called West Shore, and that's a 5-story new building that's going up that we're working on right now. Last summer we did the school in Calbala, which is Brethren, the school out there. That was a big project. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, we were able to do that during COVID because the kids weren't in school because it was a major project. So that kind of helped us out a little bit. We got it done a lot faster than trying to dodge kids as they come in and out of school. But other than that, yeah, we got some really big projects going pretty much all the time.
Well, that sounds those are definitely some big projects. And I remember seeing you guys over here at the KND school because I go through that area sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what about a maintenance program? Sometimes roofers will service people come out and do a job for a homeowner and one and done. And unless you have a problem or something, but you guys have an actual maintenance program. Isn't that true?
Yeah, we run that right through our maintenance and repair department. People always ask like when they're looking at the roof, what they can do to make it last longer. And, I tell them, spring and fall, clean out your gutters, blow all the needles and the branches and everything off your roof. A lot of people get moss growing on their roof because they're in heavily wooded areas and such. So I don't really recommend homeowners getting up on their roof and walking around if they're not comfortable doing it. I mean, that's just a safety issue. So what they'll do is they'll call us and we'll come out and we'll blow, we use a blower. We'll blow all the needles and all the branches and everything off your roof and clean out your gutters, as well as inspect the roof while we do that. Check all the flashings, check the shingles, check the chimney flashing, check your your fascia boards, check everything that has to do with the roof to make sure that you still have a solid roof, and just give you an idea of what the future brings for you. As far as you might have a problem in this area, you're probably going to need a new roof in 5 years. So in 3 years, start budgeting for a new roof. Stuff like that. We can come out and tell you all that stuff and take pictures, and we write down just a booklet with pictures and what the pictures of and stuff like that, and estimated cost to fix all that stuff, or have us come out and repair it, whatever you need to do.
Well, I think that's important to know for a homeowner, is that if they call you, that you're not just coming out there to sell them a new roof automatically. Is you're going to give them a good opinion with, the facts. Here's pictures of your roof. If you're not, that we found, and this is maybe an issue or something. And, we might be able to fix a few shingles, because you can patch shingles if there's only a few missing from a storm or something, and get those few extra 5, maybe, to 10 years, depending on what the damage is.
Right. Yeah. And another thing a lot of people don't think about is pipe boots. Pipe boots will dry up and crack, in the sun once they sit out there for 10 or 12 years. It's just like the tire on your car. The sun gets to it and it's just rubber, and it's just going to dry out and crack and break, and people get leaks there. So a lot of times we go out there and, hey, can you replace all my pipe boots? Well, yeah, we come out and we pull the pipe boot off, and then we put the new one on, and we put the new shingles around there. Can't even tell that we were there, but you got a brand new pipe boot that's gonna last you another 10 or 12 years, which is gonna help last with the roof, as your roof gets older.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had touched on a little bit of spring maintenance type stuff. What would be a tip that you could give people watching this that they should be looking for right now? Because it is spring, and this is a good time to kind of look and assess the damage or no damage from winter. What would be some tips that they should look for right now?
Oh, I think everything hanging out of your gutter. If you had a lot of stuff in your gutters that's just hanging out, you need to get your gutters cleaned out. If you have a house that you're used to having large ice dams on, and you're using a roof rake, you want to take a look at your eave edges where you've been raking all the snow off and pulling the granules off. Or if you haven't done that, it was just a massive, the ice could be up underneath the shingles, and you could have nail pops, and they could pop the shingles up a little bit, which is future leaks, because the nails lifted up, off the decking. Other than that, it's just, like I said, the pine needles, the branches. If you have shingles that are popping up where it goes into some kind of sidewall flashing, or your chimney or something like that. If you have a brick chimney, it's always nice to take a look at the brick chimney to make sure the mortar is still good. There's not any cracks or anything that needs to be sealed. The flashing that's on the chimney. Your ridge vent can pop, because it's a plastic ridge vent with an asphalt cap on it. So your vent can start getting wavy up there. You'll see it. You can start getting wavy. It might need to be nailed down again, or your cap could be deteriorating a little bit faster than the rest of the roof. So you might just need some new cap put on. Just stuff like that. Anything that you can see from the ground, like I said, I don't really recommend actually jumping up there and really taking a look at anything. But sometimes homeowners will sit on the ground and look with binoculars and take a look at their roof. And if you have moss on there, like I said, we have a program for everything. If you have moss on there, we actually have a power wash that we do. It's called like a roof wash, where we come out, use a light power wash, broom all the moss off and the algae off, use a light power wash with a roof cleaning chemical that's in it, and spray it off, and that'll protect you from the moss growing back and the algae growing back for this year, 2 years, or 3 years, depending on how heavily wooded your area is. They could keep you doing that. So, which will make your roof last a little bit longer once you keep all that off there.
Yeah, anybody that's lived in a pine area understands what you're talking about. Yep. That's for sure. Right. Yes. Okay. That's great. So, when we had talked before, you had mentioned that you guys also work with solar. And that's something that you guys have been doing a lot more lately. Tell us about, I know that's a big interest nowadays with climate change and all the different things happening, that people are a lot more green conscious, and they want to come up with alternate forms of energy. And the sun is a great resource. So solar, obviously, and that kind of goes right along with roofing. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Well, we had people call, for a little bit now, and they were asking if we did solar. So we teamed up with Cbs Solar, which is right down the road. They're in Copenish, and they are the premier solar company in Michigan. I know they do work in Ann Arbor, they do work up here, but their headquarters is right there in Cobanish, which is 7 miles right down the road from us. So we thought it was going to be a big part or a good partnership for both companies. We can come in there and sell you the solar package with your roof. There is a tax credit for buying solar if you buy solar and your roof at the same time. So you can get a tax credit for the solar and a tax credit for your roof at the same time. And we come in there, and basically what we do is what the solar company doesn't want to do. We come out there, we put the brackets on, we put the racking on as we put the roof on, so that we can guarantee that your roof's not going to leak at these penetrations that we're putting in as we put the roof on. So we're guaranteeing the roof. We're saying that these brackets, we're installing the brackets in the right spot. We're shingling around them. We're sealing them to make sure they're not going to leak or anything in the future. And then CBS comes in and they put the panels on and they do the electrical portion. And because we're roofers and we don't want to do the electrical, they're not roofers and they don't want to do the racking and all that. So it's an even trade, and it's been a great partnership since day one. And we're really looking forward to just moving into the future with this and really letting it kick off, because I think it's just going to be solar is going to really come into effect here in a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the solar company there, right on 115.
Yep, right on 115. Yep,
right there. Oh, that does sound like a great combination of two companies working together. You doing the stuff they don't want, and them doing the stuff that you don't want to do, like you said.
Right.
I got a question about that. So what if I already have a roof on my house, a nice one, and I just got to put in 5 years ago by someone else, and I want to get solar? You can still work with that. You don't need a whole new roof system, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, if you have if you've got a roof on there that's within 5 years old, 10 years would be kind of pushing it. But yeah, I mean, we can still come out. What we're going to do is we're going to send our repair department out there, and they're going to come pop the shingles off where we need to put the brackets in, put the racking in, shingle back around it, seal it up to make sure it's good, and then they're going to come in and put your solar in. Yep. So it doesn't really matter how old your roof is. It's just you have to start thinking down the line with the solar about your roof. If you have a 15-year-old roof and you want the solar on there, the solar is going to be on there for 25 years. So it's a lot to do with, I'm getting solar put on, I'm putting a new roof on, so that when I need a new roof, I also need my solar to be taken on and off. So in 25 years, we could take the solar off, take the roof off, put the new roof on, put the solar back on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see where that would come into consideration. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I think you're right. I think solar is definitely going to continue to grow in the future. There's no doubt about that. I've seen a lot of growth, and it's happening more and more. And I know more and more people that have solar out in their fields, and they're putting it on the roofs. So I think that's
even if you want us to come out and say you're interested in solar, we'll even tell you, the best thing for you isn't to put the solar on the roof. You have this big open area out here, and it would probably be more efficient for you to put it out in this big field that you have, if you're willing to do that. Some people don't want the panels on the roof. Some people want the panels on the roof. Some, it's just whatever they're comfortable with.
Awesome. So really one call, they call Story Roofing. They can get maintenance. You can get a residential roof, a commercial, any size commercial project. You guys can handle that. And also solar. They don't need to call anybody else. They can get all that stuff taken care of.
Yep. Yeah, I think along with solar, I also think that metal roofing is really starting to take off. I don't think a lot of people think about metal roofing when they think of getting a new roof, as far as what the options are. I think people think that there's a barn steel roof and a standing seam roof, and that's it. And there's actually a press form shingle that looks it's really interesting. It's a concealed fastening system. And it looks like cedar shake. It looks like a slate roof. You can get different designs on it, different colors, different paints, and it's really a neat option to go to if you still like the shingle look. A metal press form shingle is really the way to go.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few of those. I've never installed the press form. I have seen some roofs that look like they were copper. Is that what would make the copper roof? Is a press form like that?
You can get a copper color in a press form shingle. Usually when people want copper, it's just like a copper accent or a copper bay or something like that. When we do our cedar shake roofs, we use copper valleys and drip edges and step cards for the flashing around the chimney, just to give it that extra fancy look, that extra just kind of, show, just bam right in front of you. It gives you that accent that everybody looks for when you do it. So we use copper for, like I say, bay windows, little projects, trim pieces, detail pieces, just to make it pop just a little bit more.
Excellent. I think that sounds great. I love the copper look, like you said, with the as an accent. I think that's really a sharp accent on a lot of houses and whatnot. Well, I think all this is great. They can find you guys at storyroofing.com, and they can find all your contact information on there. Anything else you'd like to tell us about Story Roofing that we maybe didn't cover today, David?
50 years. This year we're celebrating our 50 years. So, we've been here for 50 years. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here for another 50 years. So if you're really looking for a very professional company to come out, take a look at your roofing project, give you an honest answer and what you need, and give you a quality roof that we're going to stand behind no matter what. We have an excellent office staff. We have two office girls that will be answering the phone. So every time that you call, you're either going to talk to Amanda or you're going to talk to Emily. And you always know who you're going to get to. So it's not like, well, yesterday I called, I talked to this person, and then I talked to this person, and then I talked to this person. There's no confusion in it. You're going to talk to one of the two, and your call's going to go directly where it needs to go on every phone call. And they handle all the warranty issues. When you get your warranty, they get a hold of the manufacturer. They send all the paperwork in. After we get our paperwork back, then we mail you your warranty. So like I say, it's just once you sign up with Story Roofing, you just sit back and just get your new roof put on. Let us take care of everything else. And if there's a problem, that somebody's going to come out, take a look at it, and we're going to stand behind it 100%.
Well, it seems as though you guys must know what you're doing because you've been in business, like you said, this year is going to be 50 years. So congratulations on that. And I appreciate you being on the show today, David. It was great talking to you.
Yep. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you like this show, go ahead and let us know down in the comments below. Hit that like button. Give my show a subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time we put out a new episode, coming out every Tuesday. Thanks again for joining me today, David.
Yep, thank you.
If you would like to be a guest on this show, head on over to MichiganContractorshow.com. Fill out the form, I'll get back to you, and we'll find the perfect time for you to make an appearance. Thanks again for watching. See you next Tuesday.